What a season it has been here in the Haas IndyCar Series. And just after this race today, we'll be entering the final quarter of the 2025 season. We've had a lot of great races this season. We've been to a lot of different racetracks. And here in this final leg of the season, we still got a couple of road courses to go. We still got the tricky triangle, the Pocono Raceway for the finale, but also in there, we've got a couple of short track races here. Last time we were at a track shorter than a mile long was early in the season at the Nazareth Speedway. But today we finally arrive at our second short track race of the season here in Newton, Iowa, around this .875 mile racetrack. It is the Iowa Speedway, 72 laps ahead of us here tonight, and it's going to be a fun one for certain here in the Hawkeye State. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to race number 15 of the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Welcome to HyVee Indy Iowa. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to HyVee Indy Iowa, here from the Iowa Speedway. Like I said, race number 15 of 20 on the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season, and like I mentioned, after today, just got 5 races, a quarter of the season left to go. Like I said, it's been a fun season so far, but everything's got to come to an end eventually, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how this season will close out in its final couple of races. But yeah, we're finally here in our second short track race of the season. Like I said, we had Nazareth earlier on in the season, and that was definitely an interesting race, and I'm having no doubt that this one will be quite interesting as well. Of course, last year's race here was quite the race of all time, but could definitely expect something different here this time around. Maybe a little bit of a softer tire compound here today, and unlike last season, we could probably expect a 2-stop race here today, so a very strategy-driven race we could expect here today from the Iowa Speedway. Should have about a 30-lap pit window, so that ought to definitely really shake things up here from HyVee Indy Iowa. I think this is going to be a very, very fun race here from the Hawkeye State. But as we kind of get into this final leg of the season, we definitely have a lot of storylines to touch on, and one of those is definitely, without a doubt, the points battle that we have had going on all throughout the season. We've seen a lot of comers and goers in the point standings, but I think there have been 3 drivers that honestly have kind of settled in as the big 3 up at the top of that point standings. And taking a look at the point standings right now, after winning at Chicagoland, Zachary Fitzwater retakes the points lead once again, just 16 points over second place Tanner Parton, and Brennan Wilmington, who led the points there for quite a bit. He still enters this race third in points, only 21 back. Had a good run at Chicagoland. All 3 of those guys had good runs at Chicagoland. Just some a little bit more better than others, and you know the point spread here in the IndyCar Series can be crazy, so that's what allowed Fitzwater and Parton to kind of take first and second on the standings there over Wilmington. But we still have 5 races left after today, and a lot can still happen here in the Haas IndyCar Series. We saw that last season with Bradley Bradshaw, and I have no doubt that we could definitely see the same thing here this season if the dominoes fall correctly, but we'll just have to wait and see how it'll all play out. But taking a look here further on down your point standings, Ace Garcia, he's had a quietly great season. Of course, got the win at Nashville, which really put him up there in the point standings, but he comes into this race 4th, 52 points behind Zachary Fitzwater. You got John Anderson, the 79, who's kind of consistently been up there in the top 5. He comes in 64 points back. Braden Perez with a really good turnaround here in the second half comes in 66 back. Bradley Bradshaw has kind of just been quietly lurking there in the top 10 in points. He's 104 points back. Chris Reynolds comes in 111 back. Aaron Abel comes in 123 back. And we got a new face in the top 10, Christian Vargas. And the double zero there for Dog Pound Incorporated comes in 130 points behind Zachary Fitzwater. So it's going to take quite a bit for all those guys down there to gain on our top 3 in the point standings. But kind of like I mentioned last season, anything is possible. And we'll just have to wait and see how it'll all play out here in the final couple of races here in the IndyCar Series. And definitely have the opportunity to shake things up here today. Zachary Fitzwater in the 52. Not a great qualifying run. He starts towards the back of the field. So he's definitely got quite the hole to dig himself out of here from the Iowa Speedway. And he got quite a few championship contenders starting up towards the front, which we will go over here just a second as we get these guys rolling and we go over your starting lineup for today's race. But yeah, I think we definitely have a very fun race inbound here from the Iowa Speedway. Like I said, 72 laps ahead of us. Should see 2 pit cycles. And like I usually say, we'll just have to wait and see how it'll all play out here after 72 laps here around the Iowa Speedway. But with all that being said, I think it's finally time we get these guys rolling here from the Iowa Speedway. But really quickly, before we do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for HyVee Indy Iowa. Here from the Iowa Speedway on the pole position, you've got the 79 of John Andrews. Nice to see him starting up on the pole position once again, and he's starting alongside the number 39 of Dylan Matthews. Row number 2, you have the 93 of Avery Alford, so a spectacular qualifying run for Evans Ross Racing. Alford starts alongside the 86 there of Carson Miller. Row 3, you've got the second in points, Tanner Barton starting alongside the 99 of Max Anderson. Row 4, you've got third in point, Brennan Wilmington starting alongside the 5 of Nicholas Samadillo. Rounding out your top 10, you've got the 27, I believe, of Ace Garcia. Fourth in the point standings, you've got second, third, and fourth, all starting back-to-back there on the inside lane. He'll be starting alongside the number 1 of Arthur Baranowskis, who rounds out your top 10. Get these guys rolling here real quick. Race info, of course, will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. 72-lap race here today, as mentioned. Usual 30 entry in the pit window, like I said, should be around lap 30. About 29 to 31 is when we could see these guys come in. So I expect pit cycles, like I said, around lap 30 and lap 60. Definitely be very strategy driven, and we'll have to see who capitalizes on that strategy, potentially get the win here from the Iowa Speedway. But regardless, it's going to be a very fun race here from this .875 mile track. Here we go through 3 and 4. Pace car is going to make the left-hand turn out of the pit lane here, and it's going to be the 79 of John Andrews and the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Is going to lead us on the front straightaway to the green flag. We're racing here in the Hawkeye State. We're green flag racing here from HyVee Indy Iowa. Coming around to lead the opening lap, John Andrews just barely going to hold on there in the 79, but here comes the 93 of Avery Alford. Last season here, we kind of saw it become a bit of a cycle race, but like I said, things are going to be very different this season. But while all these tires are still fresh, it's going to be game on here for position in the early stages of this race, and Avery Alford going to take the race lead away there. Coming to lap number 3, Tanner Parton in the 8, looking on the inside of John Andrews, Brendan Wilmington, and Ace Garcia, both with great starts. They're already here up into the top 5. There's the 80 of Chris Reynolds, who's also up there in the top 10 in points, having a solid run here so far, up inside the top 10. No Cliff in the 55, looking to make his way up. 04 Luna as well. And early on in the going here, that outside lane is not where you want to be as Matthews, Carson Miller, and just about everybody there on that outside lane slipping back here early on. Chris Reynolds there gets shuffled to the outside. So does the 79 of John Andrews. But Avery Alford now out in front in that 93 for Evans Ross Racing. Tanner Parton, though, looking to close in. So is the 98 of Brennan Wilmington, second and third in points, looking to capitalize on Fitzwater's poor qualifying run. And Fitzwater might have fallen a little bit back on the outside lane there on the start, but he's gotten down to the inside. And let's see if he can make up some ground here as this race goes along. But Wilmington in the 98 going for second on the 8 of Tanner Parton. He's going to try and take that spot away, and he's going to do so here off of turn number 4. We'll see if Parton can get down. But no, here comes the 27 Mace Garcia, but he had to check up a little bit going into 1 and 2, but he's going to try and stay side by side here going into 3 and 4, but that's not going to be the case. Tanner Parton there with a pretty good run on the outside, going to stay clear, but Garcia's going to get back down to the inside with a good run there off of turn number 4. Noah Clifton, the 55, up into the top 5, waiting in the wings. Justin Zidell in the 75. Up here in the top 10, Anthony Hernandez moving on up. So is Christian Vargas. Duncan Ward in the 13. Ooh, Duncan Ward looking to make it 3 wide. Here down the front straightaway, clips Vargas. Oh, keep it together into turn 1. Vargas slams onto the brakes. He's going to keep it on the apron. And Vargas looks like he might have a one-way ticket to the back here. He's still on the apron there in the 00. He might even come down the pit lane. No, he doesn't. He's still on the racetrack, but Vargas goes to the back there after taking evasive action. After getting clipped there by the 13 of Duncan Ward. Who else but Duncan Ward to make a type of move like that? I'll put a replay of that on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. 3 wide at this short of a racetrack, just not destined to work. And a good save, all things considered, by Christian Vargas, and a good job at keeping his car there out of trouble, but that's going to cost him definitely in track position. And Brad Stover in the 81 also back here, so not a good start to this race for Dog Pound Incorporated, but they still have plenty of time to make that ground back up, both on track and potentially in strategy. So we'll have to see what they are able to do here as this race goes along. But Avery Alford in the 93 has been looking strong here out front ever since they got to the race lead. Brennan Wilmington settling in there in the second position, looking for another good run. And Noah Clifton in the 55, currently rounding out your podium. But here comes Jada Tanner Parton looking to take that back. Anthony Hernandez in the 88, currently rounding out your top 10. And here comes the 49, Angel Gutierrez, your 2024 winner here of this very race. Started at the back of the field and already up here inside the top 10. So is Braden Perez. He didn't have the best starting position, but Perez now up here fighting inside the top 10, and that is 6th in points coming in. So a good driver so far out of Braden Perez. Bradley Bradshaw on the 07's also up here. Zachary Fitzwater, he's got stuck on the outside once again, along with the 79 of John Andrews. Both of them slipping back once again, which is definitely good news if you're Brennan Wilmington, Tanner Parton, Braden Perez, Bradley Bradshaw, all those guys. Ace Garcia as well there in the 27 of the, he just got stuck up on the outside. Let's see if he can get down before he loses too much ground. I'm going to lap 17, though, here from Iowa. Avery Alford still out front, but the top 4 now, honestly, kind of under a blanket. Brennan Wilmington not too far behind. He's got a mirror full of Clifton, who has got a mirror full of the 8 of Tanner Parton. Alford trying to pull away, though, here down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Clifton all over the gearbox of Brennan Wilmington, potentially looking to take that second position away. Luna Lona in the 04. Haven't talked about Lona much so far this season. Of course, the 2023 champion of the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, moved over to Velocity for 2024. Had a decent season, but kind of got stuck in the shadows of Bradley Bradshaw. Moved over to Durrani for 2025 and not been the best of seasons for the 2023 champion. So nice to see Lona having a good run here at Iowa. I see Zidell having a good run as well, but he kind of just got bumped up the track there by Aaron Abel, who has also had a really good turnaround here in the second half of the season. Got the win at Road America, and has really been picking up the pace since then, trying to catch up to his NS Racing teammate of Brennan Wilmington. And I know NS Racing owner Nathan Stapleton has been ecstatic here with his two cars' performance here, especially in the second half of the season. I definitely know he's happy right now. Echo Evans-Ross got her car leading with Avery Alford still out in front. That 93 is looking strong there out in the lead. Where she got Wilmington and Clifton right behind them, but haven't really been able to get by this 93 of Alford. Alford's just kind of been planted to this racetrack and looking really strong here as this race goes along, and I'm sure it's definitely not helping that these tires are really starting to wear. We're already kind of closing in on that first cycle of pit stops, and the tire wear is definitely going to be apparent, as you can see there, already approaching a second's worth of fall off. Yeah, these guys really starting to slow down a little bit, both in pace and, I guess, just in on-track action, because once the tires start to wear, the grip goes down, the cars become a lot harder to control. But it looks like that's not going to stop with 49 of Avery Alford looking to the inside of the 04 of Luna Lona, looking to take the 7th position away. Is your 2024 HyVee Indy Iowa winner. Gutierrez up into the 7th position for the time being. Noah Clifton gets to the inside there of the 98 of Brennan Wilmington, looking to move up to that second spot before this cycle of pit stops kicks off, and he's going to clear off of turn number 2. Looking back here, Justin Zeidel side by side with the 880 of Chris Reynolds, with Ace Garcia there right behind them. Baby Ruiz moves up the racetrack there off of 4, letting the 63 of Logan Williams move to the inside. Logan's had a really tough season so far up to this point, but he's really kind of been kicking it into high gear with these past couple of races. He's had a pretty good string of finishes so far in these last few races, and looking to potentially keep that up and move up here in this race. Tanner Parton now in the 8, trying to take the 3rd position away from Brennan Wilmington. They've kind of lost a bit of time to our top 2 of Alford and Clifton. And side by side has definitely not helped their case, but Wilmington's going to kind of go to the outside there and cede the position to the 8 of Tanner Parton. He now moves up into 3rd. Bradley Bradshaw looking to get to the inside of Luna Lona. Duncan Ward there getting past Aaron Abel. Bruno Diacomo, good run for the 41. Looking to do the same. Here we go to lap 29 out of 72 here from Iowa, and we could definitely see some guys maybe come down pit lane here. I have to see if anybody does elect to come down, potentially try an undercut. And we do. Ace Garcia. I believe that is Logan Williams in the 63. Justin Zeidel is also down in at the 75. So it looks like Justin Zeidel is going to be leading all those guys on the pit road here on lap number 29, coming to lap 30. Of course, you got Ace Garcia in this. You've also got the 79 of John Andrews back there. And here comes some more cars here on lap 30. You got your leaders. All 5 of them, actually, it seems. All coming down. And we got some still staying out. The 83 of Braden Perez going to stay out. Get a point for the lap led there. A bit of a strategic call there out of Braden Perez. Bradshaw. Duncan Ward, Bruno Diacomo also elected to stay out as well. But ooh, look at this. Ace Garcia with a great stop on the 27. He jumps Justin Zeidel coming out of the pit lane. Have to see how that all lines up as they get back on the racetrack. There goes John Andrews in the 79. Here comes group number 2, led by the 93 of Avery Alford, followed by Noah Clifton, Tanner Parton. Oh, Brennan Wilmington in the 98 with a bit of a slow stop. He falls behind his teammate Aaron Abel. Here comes all these guys, though, led by the 27 of Ace Garcia. He's going to come out, it looks like, ahead of the 49 of Angel Gutierrez and behind the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. We'll see where all these guys come out. Led by the 83 of Braden Perez. Up here down the back straightaway. That's going to kind of force all these guys up into the outside lane. Braden Perez trying to get up to speed. Here comes the 49 of Angel Gutierrez, already kind of up to speed, but it looks like Perez going to maybe get a bit of a tow from Ace Garcia, and that's going to help him out quite a bit. So Perez going to come out behind Garcia, ahead of Gutierrez. And so with that, pit stops have cycled through, and it is Avery Alford in the 93, out front. Noah Clifton not too far behind in second, and then a 2-second gap to the aid of Tanner Parton. Anthony Hernandez is in fourth, Ace Garcia is fifth, Perez is in sixth, Gutierrez seventh, Bradshaw eighth, ninth is Zidell, and Aaron Abel rounds out your top 10. 11th right now is Carson Miller, 12th is Brennan Wilmington, 13th is Duncan Ward, 14th is Luna Lona, 15th BB Ruiz. Got a battle for 16th between Logan Williams and Bruno Giacomo. And looking further on back here, the 52 is Zachary Fitzwater. Looks like he might have gained a little bit of ground there out of that pit cycle. Looks like he's now fighting for a spot here in the top 20 with Chris Reynolds and the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Don Andrews in the 79. Not a good pit stop for him. He's down in 30th. Quite a ways back from the rest of the field. On the number 48 of Marcus Glitch. So yeah, that definitely was not a good pit cycle for John Andrews there. Tough break for him. But a great pit cycle, especially for our top two, Avery Alford and Noah Clifton, 2 seconds clear of the rest of the field as they run right now. But Noah Clifton not too far behind there in second, and I'm sure Noah Clifton wants this race win as well, and Tanner Parton could definitely close in if these two maybe start going at it for the race lead. We'll have to see. Past halfway home now here in Iowa. It's been Avery Alford out front ever since he took the race lead away there in the early stages of the race. Noah Clifton, the 55, right behind, looking to try and catch up and maybe even potentially find a way around Avery Alford. A great run for Tanner Parton there in the 8, looking to potentially take the points lead as things run right now. In the final podium place, Brayton Perez in the 83, who has got some of the freshest tires in the field. Now up into the 4th position. This could be an interesting car to watch as this run goes along. He's being followed by Bradshaw, who also has some of the freshest tires as he came down the same lap as Brayton Perez. Justin Zidell in the 75 is also looking pretty quick there as he moves up into 6th. There's Garcia there in the 27 looking to also potentially follow suit. Angel Gutierrez in the 49. Down to the 10th position, Brennan Wilmington there now up to 11th, looking to make his way here back inside the top 10. Zachary Fitzwater in the 52 now up into the 19th. It looks like they both got by the 39 Dylan Matthews. So Fitzwater's kind of been on the charge here. With everybody spread out now, though, it's going to be a bit harder for that 52 to make up positions, but there is still time left in this race, and we still got one pit stop ahead of us. Have to see what that 52 car can do. Clifton all over the gearbox of the 93 of Avery Alford, looking for a potential way around. Like I said, that 93 of Avery Alford just looks planted to this racetrack and being a really great defender right now, but that last time by Tanner Parton in the 8 closed in just a bit. Got a battle heating up here for 4th as Bradshaw is looking to the inside of Brayton Perez, looking to try and potentially lead that charge up to the top 3. Tanner Parton closed in once again to our top 2, so maybe these guys are starting to wear their tires out just a little bit. Up here in the 1st and 2nd positions. See if he closes in a little bit this time by in just a little bit. These guys back here have been kind of slowly chipping away. Now down to 3.5 seconds. So Wilmington in the 98 got past the 49 of Gutierrez, who's fallen down to the 12th position. So now Wilmington's here up inside of the top 10. Anthony Hernandez looking to the inside of Garcia, looking to take 7th back away. Last time by, Parton fell back just a little bit. So did the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. Avery Alford's actually kind of pulled away a little bit from the 55 of Noah Clifton. Now up to 0.3 of a second. Back to the 55. Coming to lap 50, 23 laps to go here from the Iowa Speedway. So it's been absolute domination ever since that 93 of Avery Alford took the race lead away. Fastest lap of the day has been set by the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. And it's looked like a good day to have an O in front of your number. The 07 with the fastest lap, the 00 with the second fastest lap, and the 04, Luna with the third. Kind of an interesting coincidence there. Lap 52, 21 laps to go. Bradshaw and Perez have been slowly closing in once again, now down to 3.2 seconds. But it looked like they might go at it there, but Perez got a little bit tight there entering the corner and slotted in behind the 07 of Bradshaw. Up front, Noah Clifton looking to potentially mount another charge here to the 93 of Alford. Tanner Barton took a pretty big chunk out of the race lead that last time by. So did Bradshaw. Now down to 2.9, closed at about 0.3 that last time by. However, we are closing in on that second cycle of stops. And then it'll pretty much be a mad dash to the finish from there. Another 10th closed in by Parton. And about 0.2 there from Bradshaw and Perez. So definitely seeing the varying difference in strategy here in this race as this run comes to its final stages. Oh, that was a huge chunk taken from Bradley Bradshaw. Now down to 2.4. Parton down to 1.3. Parton can maybe close in a little bit, maybe start to sniff the draft a little bit. Before that cycle of pit stops, he could definitely be in the mix. We'll just have to see. Down to 1.2 for Parton, 2.3 for Bradshaw. So Bradshaw now only a second back from the 8 of Parton. See, though, what lap everybody decides to come down. Of course, we had some come down there on lap number 29, and Alford is in. Here on lap 57, so is Noah Clifton and Justin Zeidel, so they're trying to pull an undercut here on this run to the finish. Interesting call there out of Alford, Noah Clifton, Justin Zeidel. Garcia is also in, so is Lona, Gutierrez, Logan Williams. And now here comes the 8 of Tanner Parton here on lap number 58. Got Bradshaw still out there on the racetrack, though, along with the 83 of Braden Perez committing to staying out those extra laps like they did on the first run. Looks like they're going to come down here on lap 59, coming to lap 60. No! Bradshaw peels in. Perez stays out on the racetrack. So Perez going for another lap led there in the 83. And the caution is out, I think. The caution is out, and that is Carson Miller in 3 and 4. Who has gone around. He might have tangled with Duncan Ward. Oh boy, that was close. And the caution is out, and I think that might greatly benefit Braden Perez. We'll have to see where everybody does cycle out, though. Oh boy, this is really going to flip things on its head here. A late caution here from Iowa. And yeah, like I said, this is really gonna shake things up here. We'll have to see who the race leader is. This might benefit the guys that just came down before the caution came out. Giacomo stopped on the pit road there, along with Duncan Ward, who has some damage there to the front wing. So not been the cleanest of days from that 13 machine of Duncan Ward. There goes the 83 of Braden Perez out of the pit lane. I don't know. We'll have to see how everything shakes out. Might only restart here with just a couple of laps to go. Oh boy, this is going to be more of a mad dash to the finish than we thought. But really quickly, we'll take a quick look at what brought us under our first caution of the race, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here for hopefully the final restart here from HyVee Indy Iowa from the Iowa Speedway. Following along here with the 86 of Christian Vargas coming out of the pit lane. And you're going to see popping into frame here the number 13 of Duncan Ward. Already not with the best track record today. He wants to come into the pits. Carson Miller wants to merge back onto the track. And they both come together there on the back straightaway into turn 3. Both go around. Carson Miller with a pretty hard lick there, all things considered, into the outside wall. Duncan Ward there in the 13 following suit. And that is going to bring out the caution flag here under this pit cycle here from HyVee Indy Iowa. And this is really going to throw a wrench into things, like I said, with it coming out at this time. We'll have to see where everybody does shake out after this, but really unfortunate get-together there for Carson Miller and Duncan Ward. Definitely not the pit cycle that both of them were looking to have, but fortunately, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But take one more quick look here at full speed, and we'll get you all back to the racing action here at the Iowa Speedway, as a little bit of contact there between teammates and another near miss from the 5 of Nicholas Samadillo. Goodness gracious. Alright, let's get to the full speed. And taking a look here at full speed, just two cars wanting to occupy the same space at the same time. Unfortunately, coming together here down the back straightaway. Carson Miller and Duncan Ward going to take a pretty solid beating. And like I said, that is really going to throw in a wrench into things. It'll be interesting to see who will come out in the race lead. Definitely going to benefit the cars that stayed out, though, including the 83 of Braden Perez. We'll also probably have to watch out for all those guys that came in, just the lap before. I don't know. We'll have to see where everybody shakes out here, but in that, we'll quickly get you all to the restart. Just a couple of laps remaining here from HyVee Indy Iowa, here from the Iowa Speedway. Welcome back here to HyVee Indy Iowa, here from the Iowa Speedway, wrapping up our first caution of the day. So, late race restart here from Iowa. Given the quick rundown, Braden Perez in the 83 is your race leader. Bradley Bradshaw there in the 07 is second. Then we got a couple of lapped cars. Ace Garcia, Angel Gutierrez, Angel Olvera, Max Anderson, Christian Vargas, Otto Van all these guys trapped a lap down after that cycle of pit stops. Third place, the 55 of Noah Clifton, followed by Tanner Parton, Avery Alford, Anthony Hernandez, Aaron Abel, Brennan Wilmington, Luna Lona, and Justin Zidell, your top 5. And coming back to the restart here on lap 66. Going to be, I believe, 7 laps to go here at the line here from the Iowa Speedway. Braden Perez going to lead the field back to green. Here we go. We're green flag racing here from HyVee Indy Iowa from the Iowa Speedway. A good jump there out of Braden Perez. But this is going to be crazy as everybody in the field is back on fresher tires. And these guys third on back are definitely going to have to make some moves if they want to have a shot at this. They got a lot of lap cars in between them and our race leaders. Braden Perez trying to hold off the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. Bradshaw's peeking to the inside there, coming through turns 1 and 2. Perez slipped a little bit wide there. Through 3 and 4, Perez slips a little bit wide once again. Bradshaw to the inside, coming through off of turn 4. Side by side, coming to lap 68. Side by side, still into 1. Bradshaw really sent it in there. Got really tight, but they stay side by side here for this race lead. And Bradley Bradshaw is going to clear off of turn number 4. Ace Garcia in the 27 is a lapped car. He's going to follow through on the inside. Trap Braden Perez in the 83 on the outside lane. 3 laps to go this time by from Iowa. Noah Clifton trying as he might. I think they might be too far back. Tanner Parton, though, looking to take that final podium position away. But up front, it's the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw, still looking for his first win on the season after a very successful 2024 campaign. Luis Garcia could definitely throw a wrench into things here. He's going to get to the inside of Bradshaw here, coming to 2 to go. And going into 1, he gets tied. He has to check up. They're still side by side for the lead. Or not quite the lead. Braden Perez in the 83 is also going to go up to the outside. Ace Garcia is going to get his lap back, but it's going to be Bradshaw out in front as they take the white flag. Braden Perez right behind him, though. Oh, Bradshaw slips a little bit wide. Perez looking to the inside. He's going to get to the inside off of 2. Into 3 and 4. Perez is going to send it in on the inside. And on a last lap pass, he clears Bradshaw. And Braden Perez, second win of the season. He wins HyVee Indy Iowa from the Iowa Speedway. I am absolutely speechless. Braden Perez on a last lap pass. And I don't know if you all remember, but Perez looked potentially in prime position to potentially win this race last year, but a caution came out in the last couple of laps in the race, took the chance away from him. But this time around, Braden Perez gets it done here in HyVee Indy Iowa. Bradley Bradshaw there came oh so close. But, wow. What a race here from the Iowa Speedway. Braden Perez gets his second win of the season. Bradley Bradshaw, like I said, gave it his all there, comes home in second. Tanner Parton rounds out your podium. I really don't know what to say about what we just saw. That was absolutely spectacular. And definitely a much different race from what we saw last season, and I think in this case, that was definitely a great thing. What a race here from the Iowa Speedway. And what a win there out of the 83 of Braden Perez on a last lap pass. Getting it done here. And like I said, the race that kind of got away from him last season. But taking a quick look here through your finishing results here from HyVee Indy Iowa. Of course, Braden Perez gets it done there in the 83. Bradley Bradshaw still comes home in second. Tanner Parton rounds out your podium. Avery Alford, who dominated the day early on, comes home in fourth. Anthony Hernandez with a respectable fifth place finish. Luna Lona comes home in sixth. Zidell seventh. Zachary Fitzwater, after all the adversity, comes home in eighth. Might be pretty close up there towards the points lead. We'll have to wait and see how everything shakes out. Noah Clifton comes home in ninth. Jay Knapp rounds out your top 10. And someone who I'm not seeing, Brennan Wilmington, might have had an issue there in the 98. Falls down to 29th, one lap down. And he did come down the pit lane there after the final restart, so either a problem or a penalty of some sorts on the 98, and that is going to throw a pretty big wrench into the point standings. A tough break there for Brennan Wilmington. Like I said pre-race, still a lot of races left in the season, still plenty of time for a lot of stuff to happen, and this race today definitely going to shake things up after all is said and done. But just again, what a race here from the Iowa Speedway. And in the end, Braden Perez comes out on top for GRT Team Velocity. But next race, being a couple of weeks here, we're going to go to the road courses for 3 races in a row. Coming up, we got the Canadian National Grand Prix, the race that infamously last season sent John Andrews and Bradley Bradshaw to the Shadow Realm. That'll definitely be a fun one to watch from the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. That race will be going up on Friday, June 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then after that, we got the Body Armor Dual races from Watkins Glen. So keep an eye out for those as well. And then we got Richmond and Pocono to close out the season. And it is upon us, folks. The final quarter of the season. Really excited to see how everything will play out, especially after how this race played out here today. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's definitely going to be an end to the season you all don't want to miss. But thank you all so much for tuning in to today's race here from Iowa. And again, a huge congratulations are in order for Braden Perez and GRT Team Velocitar, winning in spectacular fashion here from HyVee Indy Iowa. I am stumbling over myself. I'm still absolutely speechless on what we just saw. But that is all from me. Thank you all again so much for watching. Congratulations once again to the 83 Braden Perez, and I will see you all at the next race, Canadian National Grand Prix, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But until then, you all take care and have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 15 on the season.